Listen to the sound of footsteps in the dark, to voices that may not be quite human, to the sound of screams in the night. The Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror, on Rhode with your host, George Garner. The Haunted Cabaret starts now.
All right, that was Black Sabbath, Neon Nights, kicking off this episode of the Haunted Cabaret here on Rhode Island Free Radio. I'm your host, George Garner. Along with me in the studio, Shuckles the Evil Clown, Nurse Misery, Tony Jones. And I'll tell you, we might need the Neon Nights to ride to the rescue of the kingdom the way, well, actually, there's no beating around the bush way to say this. This week's episode is about Donald Trump. I mean,
I'm leaving. See you later.
Now, stay right there because you don't understand the full implications of what's going on in our country. Okay? Now, am I usually patriotic? No. Ordinarily, I don't care if this country goes up in a nuclear mushroom cloud. I really don't. As long as I have the hot dogs and as long as I'm there to watch it happen before I vaporize myself. I mean, all I ever ask for in life is a good show, right? But at least if you go, if you're an empire and you go out and battle with another nation and, in a blast of nuclear fire, that's dramatic. That's impressive, right? All empires fall. Unfortunately, what's actually kind of turning my stomach, kind of like the Chinese food I ate earlier, like the idea of Donald Trump being president of the United States has the same effect on my digestive system as this like Chinese buffet that I ate at last night. And it goes down okay at first. You're enjoying it until it gets down into your stomach, and then it creates kind of like swamp gas nausea. And so I have the Haunted Cabaret is the home of all things horror. Come on, Chuckles, you will admit the persona of Donald Trump is horrible.
Yeah, he's a horrible looking person.
He's a horrible, and that's clue number one. My thesis here, which I'm going to broach here in the Haunted Cabaret, which in my opinion disqualifies Donald Trump from presidential candidacy, is that he's dead.
Well, that's a unique way to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, what I think is this. Well, a little background first. I read this story by a horror writer named Dennis Etchison, back in the day, back in the 1980s. And Etchison's story was about a 7-Eleven type late night, grocery store chain that didn't want to pay its employees. So what they did is they got a bunch of dead bodies, newly dead, and they reanimated them with computer chips in the head, and they put them to work in their stores on the night shift. Because, nobody's going to notice the difference. I mean, if you ever gone into a 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning and saw the demeanor and the bearing of those clerks.
I've seen zombies with more motivation.
Yeah, exactly. So the story records the attempt to supplement the corporate income with zombies, propelled by these computer chips. The only problem is that every now and then the zombie's computer chip wears out. So you'll go into the 7-Eleven, you'll be at, or whatever the name of the store was in the story, and you'll ask for, say, a package of cigarettes. If the zombie's computer chip is worn out, it'll just say something like, "Can I get off at 8? Can I get off at 8?" It'll just wind down.
Kind of like short out.
Right. And one of the key things about the computer chip shorting out is that the zombie repeats itself. It says the same thing over and over.
It doesn't go into mass attack mode and try
to
eat the people.
It just winds down.
Out.
It just winds down. And then it eventually just hit the ground. But this is where I first started to think about Donald Trump in connection with this. Because if you listen to Donald Trump talk, how many times does he first of all, he repeats himself on subject matter, okay? Second of all, whenever he says anything in a debate or wherever he says it, he repeats it twice. He repeats it twice. So this is what I'm thinking, is that maybe Donald Trump is a plant from the Hillary Clinton wing of the Democratic Party. And Hillary Clinton, we can have some theories about who and what she is. I mean,
she'd be a show all her own.
Yes. I mean, we'll deal with that in the next episode. I mean, I don't think she's a normal human being, put it that way. But I believe that Donald Trump is a zombie plant from the Hillary Clinton for president campaign, injected into the Republican Party to destroy it. Not that the Republican Party doesn't deserve and need destroying.
Don't they usually self-destruct and kind of destroy themselves?
Yeah, but just like Dracula that we were discussing on Chuckles' show, the Republican Party, no matter how much it humiliates itself, how much it talks stupid, how much it goes Jesus freak, how much it talks like it's semi-retarded, no matter who the candidate is, it always comes back. So I think.
True. They find a way to thrive like cockroaches.
Exactly. The Republican Party is nothing but mutated cockroaches. And I guess that would make the Democratic Party maybe, I don't know, mutated. Again, that's a topic for another show.
Yeah, we'll think of something clever
next time. Right now we're on the. It's not a matter of cleverness, Misery. It's a matter of national security.
What security?
But for right now, like I say, this is what has to be looked into. I mean, all those Justice Department people are looking into Hillary Clinton's friggin' emails. Who cares, right? The point that they should be looking into Donald Trump and whether he's really alive, whether this is even Donald Trump.
Do you want to see like an echo?
Hey, all I got to say, when they're
going
looking
on?
at those emails, if they see any naked pictures swapped between the two of us, I did not send those.
You and
She
Hillary?
requested them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they were sent out by one of my media control zombies. I did not send them at all.
Let's just blame Deadly Dan.
Yes.
Deadly Dan.
A nice
snuck
close-up of
in.
Hillary's cankles.
Ugh.
We're not going there.
But
This is the home of all things horror, not the home of all things.
that's horror.
That's horror and
I don't-
nauseating. Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing that eternal cave spread wide? That is horror. That is something that you see the freaking. That is something that you see the Millennium Falcon fly straight out of. It's like, what the heck is that thing?
Kind of like that big worm mouth
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Empire
It's just gonna
Strikes
eat
Back?
you.
That's the one.
Although inside that giant asteroid worm was a lot more clean and sanitary than anything you would see.
And Hillary still has the bats flying inside, just like that mouth did too.
Well, it's all dried out in there. you
Not
mean.
that I know, because I've
Yeah.
I've never really.
Yeah. How much KY did that take?
Listen, she portrayed she was a dead body. All right, it was a one-time thing.
That's
Well,
almost
at
makes sense.
one point she was a dead body.
Yeah. So I'm in the right and I'm in the clear.
No,
I was just experimenting.
All right, look, you drove me to it. Okay, side road from Donald Trump. Okay, over to Hillary Clinton. Okay, what Hillary Clinton is did you ever watch the HBO special about those very realistic looking sex dolls?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Why
Bill-
did I say that so loud?
I'm watching it now.
Eddie, where are you?
Bill Clinton, okay, as in former President Bill Clinton, knew about the development of those highly realistic and
Very
functional sex.
sophisticated.
Very sophisticated sex toys, sex dolls, early on in their development. Bill Clinton, being the hound that he is, horny as a two-dick dog and with a frigid wife, he couldn't wait. Okay.
Oh, that's a great investment for him.
Well, he thought it was until Stepford Wives style. He went to the factory where they were developing these creatures, or these realistic dolls, sophisticated dolls, and he got one to replace his wife Hillary, who had, basically gone either sterile, frigid, or lesbian, depending on what story you listen to. Okay, but Bill Clinton replaced his wife Hillary at an early stage of his presidency with one of these sophisticated sex toys, which looked like Hillary Clinton. Okay. It didn't last. The synthetic flesh that they used on this thing, it was a primitive prototype design.
Oh, so that's why we have the sagging and bagging.
That's why we have the sagging and bagging. That's why we have the dryness.
Oh, well, the silicone's losing its suppleness.
It's and I don't even think it was silicone at that point. I think it was an experimental skin texture.
Gotcha.
You follow what I'm saying? In other words, she is decaying before our eyes. Now, what's Bill Clinton going to say? Okay, it's not bad enough that I screwed around with all this trailer park trash, then
now my $1 million robot's dying.
Yeah, now my $1 million I'm that much of an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I went and screwed a prototype sex robot.
Are you saying, sir, that I did a robot instead of a dead body?
Well,
Because if you
it
are saying that, the
depends
white
how
glove
far
is
back
coming
you
out.
went. Like, how far back ago
how far
was
back?
this escapade?
If you
was it
porked,
pre-Monica?
put it this way, if you porked something called Hillary Clinton in the first term of Bill Clinton's presidency or before, you're good to go. You banged Hillary.
That's
The
impossible.
second term.
Hillary Clinton would be in jail for having sex with a minor.
Then, my friend,
Dun, dun,
then
dun.
I have news for you. You, like former President Bill Clinton, have reamed a pseudo-synthetic prototype of a semi-functioning failure of a sexual robot.
I got the last laugh on that one because when he goes down there to lick old Victory Highway, he's tasting something funny down that way.
Well, I don't think he's going down there anymore. That's why she's running for president, so he can get her away. You notice that ever since she started running for president, or this robot has, that Bill Clinton is nowhere near her most of the time.
Yeah, there's very few.
So you are
photos
telling
of
me-
them together.
He started when he was president.